All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about a guy who didn't just play chess, he basically re-engineered the whole game. For more than a decade now, Magnus Carlsen has shown a level of dominance that's just left everyone, rivals, experts, even past legends, completely speechless. So today, we're going to try and break down the Magnus Carlsen phenomenon. And that really gets to the heart of it, right? I mean, chess isn't just a board game. It's a universe of possibilities. We're talking more possible moves than there are atoms in the known universe. So how does one human being not just navigate that complexity, but totally conquer it? That's the scale of what we're looking at here. And if you need one stat to understand his dominance, this is it. 3 winning the Classical World Championship. That's the absolute peak of a chess career. Winning the Rapid and Blitz titles, that's usually for specialists in speed chess. But holding all 3 at the same time, people thought that was literally impossible. A feat of mental and physical stamina that couldn't be done. Well, until Magnus did it. To really get a handle on the champion, you have to go back, way back. Because long before he was a grandmaster, Magnus Carlsen was showing signs of a brain that was just, wired differently. The signs were all there from the very beginning. I mean, just look at this timeline. At 2 years old, he's solving 50-piece puzzles. At 4, he's building Lego sets designed for teenagers. By the time he's 5, he's memorized every single country, capital, and flag on the planet. This wasn't just a smart kid. This was a mind built for seeing patterns and for deep, intense focus. And this was all before he even really cared about chess. So what was it? What was the spark that finally pointed this incredible brain towards the 64 squares? Was it some famous coach? A grandmaster mentor? Nope, it was something much more human, much more relatable. He just wanted to beat his sister. That simple rivalry was the spark that lit the fuse on a legendary career. And boy, once that fuse was lit, his journey through the chess world wasn't just fast, it was like a rocket launch. He didn't just climb the ranks, he completely shattered our expectations of what a young prodigy could ever hope to achieve. This whole timeline is just staggering. Becoming a grandmaster at 13 is already legendary stuff. But then he just blasts through the 2700 elite rating barrier and then the 2800 super elite barrier, years ahead of schedule. By 19, he wasn't just a top player, he was the youngest world #1 in the history of the game. And then, in 2013, he finally grabbed the ultimate prize, world champion. Now, to anyone who follows chess, this number is just mythical. 2882. That's the highest official rating ever achieved by a human being, a statistical peak that even pushed past the great Garry Kasparov. It is, quite literally, the highest level of performance this game has ever seen. So how did he get so good? How did he become so dominant? Well, the secret is in his evolution. As a teenager, he was this wild, swashbuckling attacker, super exciting to watch, but the very top players could kind of figure him out. So he had to change. He became what they call a universalist, a player who can do anything, play any style, from any position. Preparing for him became like trying to catch smoke in your hands, just impossible. And it wasn't just about cold, hard calculation. Even the legend himself, Garry Kasparov, who coached him for a bit, saw something else. He described it as a deep, almost mystical feel for the board. It's like an intuition, a sixth sense, that just tells him where the pieces belong. He just knows. And if Magnus has a signature move, a finisher, it's this: the endgame squeeze. This is where he's an absolute monster. He takes these positions that any other grandmaster in the world would just shake hands and call a draw, and he just keeps playing. He applies this slow, suffocating pressure, exploiting these tiny advantages you can't even see, until his opponents, mentally and physically exhausted, just crumble. It's brutal to watch. Now, when you dominate a sport like this, you don't just stay in that world, you break out. And Magnus didn't just break out of the chess bubble, he transcended it entirely, becoming this cool global brand. I mean, think about it. A chess player modeling for major fashion brands, getting honored on the pitch by his favorite soccer team, Real Madrid, going on huge TV shows. He was even named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people. He almost single-handedly changed the public image of a chess grandmaster. He made it cool. And then there's this, which is just the ultimate flex. In 2019, just to prove his strategic brain works everywhere, he decided to get really into fantasy football. And for a while, he actually hit the #1 spot in the entire world, out of more than 7 million players. It was just this incredible casual display of pure analytical genius in a totally different arena. So when you have a career this dominant, with this much crossover appeal, it always leads to the biggest question in sports. What's his legacy? Where does he really stand among the all-time greats? So, is Magnus Carlsen the GOAT, the greatest of all time? These debates are always fun, but they're tough. You're comparing different players from different eras. But here's the thing. His place in the conversation, that's not up for debate at all. Ultimately, whether you call him the GOAT or not is less important than the reality of what he's done. With his record-breaking readings, his impossible Triple Crown, and an entire era of dominance named after him, Magnus Carlsen has absolutely carved his face onto the Mount Rushmore of chess. He is a true phenomenon. The only question left is, after you've climbed a mountain nobody else has ever reached, what do you conquer next?